Hello. Here I am. A little late. Well, early, maybe, depending on how you want to look at this. Uh, so yeah, this is going to be a weird one. It's actually significantly harder to hit the start stream button this time around, just because it's weird, you know? Things don't feel right. It feels like it's 5:30 a.m. What's going on? I've already had 3 meals today, and I plan on hopefully having another 3 before I actually go to bed. So today's gonna be weird. Depending on how you want to look at things, technically I didn't stream yesterday, but the way I'm choosing to look at this, since I technically literally haven't gone to sleep since yesterday, this is yesterday's stream, and it'll also be today's stream. It's gonna be a long one, and gonna do a lot of different things on today's stream, but decided to, God, fucking voice cracking already. Awesome. That's not supposed to happen until like 10 hours in, but either I'm finally hitting puberty, or my throat is somehow already ready to stop. Hopefully it's not that, because, you know, only 2 minutes in. That'd be kind of a short stream to call a long stream. But anyways, let's hit the go timer. We're started. This is an official real stream now. It's very unsettling too. Like, I feel like I should have been in a different environment to start the stream, because it's really unsettling hearing like the breathing of "I want to be the guy." Well, I want to kill the Kamilia too, more accurately. Fucking enough delays. Let's actually get into this. God damn, this feels weird though. I feel so out of my element right now. But maybe that's what I need to kill the Kamilia. Or, you know, let's look at the short term. Let's try and kill the guy real quick. Let's see how that goes. Also, I know I say this literally every time, but my audio balance might not be right this time, because once again, I forgot what attack comes next. Yep, that's not gonna work out. Once again, K2 reset the volume in Windows Mixer, and I couldn't remember what I had it set to last time, but this sounds like a good volume to me. It sounds about the same as last time. What am I doing, dude? I really am out of it. Oh god. At least we haven't had a crash. I should talk. Why do I say anything? At least we haven't had a crash. Oh, fucking legendary timing. You gotta love it. At least we haven't had a crash. And every time I have a crash, I have to reset up the screen region, because for some reason it chooses to only target the loading screen and not the actual game. Okay, I was a little afraid I was going to be too close there. Okay. Let's get to the actual difficult attack. God damn, dude. I'm gonna die to easy-ass apples. you know, it's gonna take me a while to warm up. Okay, I really thought I was gonna die there. Yeah, okay. It's gonna take me a while to warm up, and I might never warm up, because I'm not tired, but I'm definitely out of it. Still feels very weird to be streaming at this time. I've done it once before. This is not the first time I've decided to do a long stream to fix my sleeping schedule, but it has been a while. And I felt weird about it last time too, so it's not like this is a foreign concept to me. I hate how much my desk shakes, man. I have like the lightest, least stable desk in the world. And honestly, like I really should get a new desk because it's kind of falling apart too. But worry about that once I get more important things sorted. Like having a PC that is able to stream something like Nier Automata, a game that came out years ago. Ugh. Maybe I should focus on getting a computer that can stream I Wanna Kill the Kamilia 2 without crashing. That would be cool. Wonder if I can get that in the budget. It's gonna feel nice to be off of this boss, if not just because I don't have to worry about the game crashing for a little bit. Like, I'm surprised how often it happens, and isn't something that was fixed, ever. Maybe it's just part of the experience. I have to accept it. Wow, good apples. Okay. After making fun of them, I almost got walled a little bit. Ooh. I'm always so afraid of jumping over the rocks because I'm afraid they're gonna bounce back up at me, but they really don't bounce that high. So I shouldn't be worried about that as much as I am. I was really expecting to have at least gotten to the attack that typically kills me by this point. But I don't know, it's not going that much worse. That was really bad. It's not going that much worse than the last time I played, though. God damn, that's really bad, though. I need to delay my double jump by a lot there. Probably didn't need a jump at all there. Probably shouldn't have jumped at all there. It's hard to tell. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. I blame that on rock RNG. The like super high thrown up rock was really annoying to account for. I probably could have done it, but I'm gonna keep blaming things on not being warmed up, I guess. Oh, come on, dude. He dropped a cheeky rock directly on my head. Like, I had to start moving, or the guy was gonna shoot me. And typically, like, I feel like that probably was the right call in that situation. I mean, maybe you should argue that you shouldn't even try and jump up there until he's completely gone, but it felt like the right call. jumped right into it. I thought my positioning was better than that. I was focusing more on the ledge I was going to jump to instead of where I actually was. I wanted to make sure he didn't drop a cheeky one directly on my head again. Yeah, that was just bad. And also, what was coming up ahead of me was pretty unfortunate, so I feel like I would have died either way. I'm waiting on the god Miku that doesn't shoot a single apple at the bottom of the screen, so I can just stand still. Hasn't happened yet. Wow. Okay, this is the attack I suck ass at. Case in point. I really shouldn't mash as hard as I am, both for my hands and also because I'm probably gonna kill the boss at a similar time into the fight regardless of how hard I'm mashing. Damn, I thought that would do it. I think I jumped a little bit too late on the first jump, honestly. I'm getting some of my consistency back, though. I mean, it's hard to be consistent on something that's random, as the two main attacks I'm dying to are random. Damn, dude, I really thought I would make it with a tiny jump there. I was trying to get, like, I didn't want to do a big jump because I was trying to stay low to the ground for optimal damage. But I ended up dying trying to do optimal damage. So there's really nothing optimal about it. I mean, that was close to the god Miku. That was the god boulder. Reggie Rock. I don't know if that's his real name. Okay. Dude, I suck. I am so bad at that attack. It doesn't even shoot that many. Like, so the way bosses have worked in this game is that they'll continue doing their attack even after you die, so you can't peek later into the fight and see new attacks. But part of this phase of the attack is whatever Toho character that is, moves up, and like very quickly. She only shoots like 5 bursts of bullets and then goes up, and I really like. That's all I have to. Oh, good start. That's all I have to do. I need to dodge 5 waves of bullets, and I can't even do that. Pathetic. I really need to, like, see what happens after you kill this first phase, because I guarantee there's a second phase. And the sooner I at least get to, like, see what's going on, the better this is gonna look. Because I don't want to be here for hours and hours. I probably will be here for hours and hours. That was close. But I don't want to be. I suck. Sometimes I'm just, like, really slow and clumsy. Like, you hate to die in that way. You make it past the RNG, and, still somehow found a way to die. I didn't even get on the vines. I mean, that's why I died. I, like, clumsily fell off of the vines, because I didn't press in the opposite direction fast enough. I mean, the way vines work is still really awkward. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to fully get used to it. Yeah! there wasn't a great line for me in that one. I committed to running under and wasn't paying attention to anything else, so I'm not surprised that another rock just fell immediately on top of me, but it was kind of unlucky. All things considered. Alright, come on. That's all you have to do. You have to desperately plea. Let out an exasperated sigh. God damn it. And Reggie Raucus will let you through. Wow! It's not very often that the ice guy throws rocks all the way over there, but I don't feel too bad about dying there. It is really frustrating, like, just having any percentage of your attempts just kind of snuffed out because of much more difficult circumstances than usual. Like, I'm all for RNG in boss fights. Obviously, you need a little bit of RNG. You can control how much of an impact it has on the fight. But, I'm not sure if these rock guys were limited to the degree I would want them to be. Yeah, I was kind of too fast on the vine there. And it crashed. Nice. It's been a while. Gotta bring me back down, humble me. Remind me that not only am I mortal, but also bound by the laws of technology. It is not just the physical realm that is limiting me, but that of wires and electricity. Alright. Let's get a good attempt in. Like, I was seeing the Toho attacks so much more frequently the last time I played this. I need to get that consistency back. I don't know if it's because I'm handling the Reggies in a different way than I was, or what, but I definitely wasn't dying to this attack. I don't know what happened to that, but that was, like, still way closer than it needed to be. Okay, okay, I saw a new attack. Ooh, ooh! Okay, we're learning. We're learning a few things here. So, one, I hate the way the next attack looks. And two, it is not just the first attack that can crash the boss fight. I kinda hate that second one. Because I really don't want to actually make it that far in the fight and crash on a successful attempt. Like, who cares about the crash here? This is literally before the boss fight even starts, but hopefully the crash only happened because I was dead. Yo! Thanks for the fat raid, dog. How's it going? What were you streaming? Hello, everybody. Hello. Also a fan game. So. Cool. I think I recognize at least one familiar face in the chat there from another fan game stream. Working through the FSR. Might need to explain that one to me a tiny bit. See, the thing is, while I might be playing K2, I'm not good at fan games, and not very experienced. So, fan game skill rating, it's a community thing. Gotcha. Yeah, I am not too versed in the community things, unfortunately. Though you guys do have a very cool and tight-knit community that, you know, hopefully, to some degree, I'll become more familiarized with, but... Familiarized? 134 fan games in ascending difficulty. That's quite a bit. I mean, that does sound pretty cool, though. I like the idea of some sort of curated challenge. Also, thank you for the follow, Doc. Appreciate you. Normally I say glad you're enjoying yourself, but I don't know. That could be... I mean, it's only been a few minutes. How can you really know you've enjoyed yourself? You could leave in seconds because of how much you hate it here. The top ones aren't happening. They're all adventure games. Ooh. I don't know if I would like that, then. You may have turned me off of it immediately. Just like how I will turn you off my stream in mere moments, I'm sure. Adventure, in quotes. I mean, I've played a couple fan games that at least self-titled themselves as adventure games. God damn it, if I just stood still, I would have been fine. That's the same way I died there last time. Traps out the ass. Ugh. Also, not my biggest... not my biggest factor I look for in fan games. I am not the biggest fan of that. Let's rephrase it in a form of English we can all get behind. I do that so often lately. I start a sentence in a way that literally no human could end in a normal way. It's like I set myself up for failure immediately. Leave myself hanging. I've gotten so much, well, so much more consistent at that attack is what I was about to say. You alright with links? Yeah, I'm fine, so long as it's irrelevant. But I trust you. don't have auto mod on or anything. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. Be careful, guys. I may not have auto mod, but when I get the chance, I am fully capable of slamming that banhammer. Oh god. So far I've only banned one person in my life, and it was because they were an obvious bot. Automod is kind of garbage. I had it on for a little bit, and was not a fan. Alright, I will bookmark that for later. I appreciate it. Because it does sound interesting. I mean, I'll check out a few of the fan games and see what I think. See if it fits my palette. Though, I'm gonna be on K2 for a while, I imagine. I was kind of strolling through things, but the bosses, well, out of the two I have seen, have definitely slowed me down. K2 is on the list. I wouldn't call K2 an adventure game. Diamond tier. The other thing is that, like, if I'm starting in whatever diamond tier is, it would feel kind of weird if I was going to play all of them and go back down to whatever the easier ones are. Not saying you can't still have, like, fun platforming on an easier game, but... choice words to the list. Technically the 8th hardest game on the list? Oh my god. I found the platforming, like, much easier than I expected it to be, but... oh god, I was too close there. Like, I had always heard that the Kamilia games were hard. I mean, well, to be fair, I haven't heard that much about K1, outside of a lot of people not liking K1. But... the, I mean, I don't want to call it Needle, because Needle is technically its own genre, but, like, the platforming screens have not been the most challenging so far, but I also understand that I'm only in the second area, second stage. And it'll probably get quite a bit harder. Okay. Staying on the right side here, God, I feel like I can almost just stand still in that section. A lot of that is the final boss alone, though. Yeah, no, I know I'm still early on. K1 is far easier. It's just that it didn't age well. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the general consensus I've seen, too, is that it's just kind of bad. So, I'm not sure if I'll ever visit upon that, but if I'm going to play this, it might be fun to see the original. And maybe K3 at some point, but let's not look too far ahead. Let's not look too far ahead now. Who knows how long this will actually take me. I mean, you know, everybody, I'm sure, is seeing Boss Rush in my future. I haven't heard that much about this game's Boss Rush. It's just like, whenever you hear Kamilia Boss Rush, you typically think of K3. I can literally stand still there, except the final attack. K1 wasn't good when it came out either. But yeah, there'll definitely be some stopping points in my future. And depending on how long those stopping points actually take me, I'm likely to do other fan games in between. Because, you know, it can be a grind. I am not adverse to grinding out difficult things, though. 7 a.m. and you sleep during the day. Yeah, I mean, it's 6 a.m. here. And I really should be asleep, but I'm here because I'm fixing my sleep schedule, so... But yeah, see you, man, and super appreciate the raid, thank you. But yeah, I definitely plan on playing more fan games. It's definitely not going to be my main thing, because I like playing a lot of different games. But I have, from time to time, enjoyed a fan game in my downtime. And since I have started streaming as of a couple months ago, why not just stream it, you know? Thank you, 44. Appreciate you. If I'm not mistaken, you're the one I thought I recognized. Are you a moderator in Wolsk's chat? Because that's where I thought I remembered you from. Also, goddamn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to out you there. I try and be careful about not saying the names of people who follow, because I hate follower notifications. Like, I really despise that. So I try and keep it secret and on the down low when someone follows me. But sometimes I, you know, I let it slip here and there. Oh god, I forgot to stand in my safe spot. That was not it. Awesome. Hey, Wolsk. Alright, see you, Tears. But I am glad I recognize. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. See, now it's deep enough into the raid where I can say, glad you're enjoying yourself. Because it felt weird doing it literally instantly after the raid. Back to my classic, my catchphrase, if you will. Wolsk drew something for me, too. I've still got it. Because I thought it was very funny to make him draw something that I drew, like, earlier in the day, when he was still doing that. What was it? Was it just for a sub? I don't even remember what it was over. But it turned out beautiful. Best, plausibly, $5 ever spent. That's what I recall. Dude, let's go. I was in the limited 50. I'm in the very unlimited 100% of players who crash on this boss fight, apparently. Is it common, or is it just me? Because it happens super fucking often. I cannot escape it. And every time, I need to recapture the game. Because it automatically captures the loading bar. Don't worry. Maybe one day you'll come back to K2 and make it far enough to crash, just like the rest of us. You too can have the luxury of crashing on a boss fight over and over again. It's not exclusive. It's guaranteed. Only a matter of time before it happens. I do think that it happens a lot less when you stand on the left side, but I still don't understand why it happens and why that would have any impact on it. It's also very possible that that's just a placebo effect, and purely anecdotal that it helps moving to the left side. I haven't moved back to the right side since I moved to the left side, so who's to say? Fair enough. That's definitely a reason to stop playing. That's why I stopped streaming Nier Automata. Though that was mainly because I couldn't run the game in full screen, since full screen just doesn't work for me in that game. Straight up. Completely busted. A little awkward there. I can't tell. I feel like the spiral bullet attack might be random, because I felt like I could stand still once, but I haven't felt like that since then. Oh god. And it crashes. So even if I was alive, I still would have been fucked. That's kind of worrying, because I literally haven't seen that attack without it crashing. So I'm starting to get a little concerned that I'm going to live through that and still not be able to proceed. There's only one solution. Kill the guy before it gets to that point. Okay. We're getting somewhere, though. I'm actually somewhat reliably dodging that spirally attack when I get to it. Somewhat. You know, a success rate of 2 out of the past, like, 3 attempts? It's a good sign to me, at the very least. But I'm glad to see I still haven't gotten consistent at dodging these apples. I mean, sometimes she just gives it to you. Pictured when Miku gives it to you. You're free to imagine whatever picture you want to put in that. I still feel like I'm handling it decently well, even when it's slightly more difficult, though. You can't rely on the god RNG every time. I swear to god, my desk is just gonna collapse from me spamming the Z button as hard as I am. It's already got a couple weak points due to a clamp for my mic stand and a clamp for my monitor. Slowly crushing the fake wood. what it would be like to have a real wood desk. I can only imagine. I'm basically getting lucky, honestly. Like, I say I'm getting consistent at that attack, but it still kind of boils down to how long can I stand still and not face danger. I can't imagine. Like, that must be such a pain in the ass to switch your keyboard layout for anything. Like, I had a friend who used to do that, but I just, well, clearly the matter I'm talking about is trivial when compared to the matter of the game just not letting me play it. But yeah, that's gotta be annoying. Because it's not just fan games that get fucked up by that kind of thing. Gotta be rough getting used to a keyboard layout that literally nothing is designed around. I mean, most games you can just ignore the issue if they have key bindings, but a lot of games still don't have key bindings. Let's go. Barely grazed the rubber on my shoes. It's like when you're going up escalators. You use little brushes to get nice clean shoes. Surely that's a relatable thing. Do games typically auto-convert keyboard layouts? I mean, that's something I would literally have no idea about because I don't switch my keyboard layout. It's been a while since I've died in a stupid way. Okay. I'm gonna unfortunately have to chalk that one up to dying in a stupid way, as much as I hate to admit. It's gonna be tough for me to call when I'm going to be done with this, because I could very likely still be at this boss fight hours from now. Assuming there's a second phase, which, like, I really... Like, you have to assume there's a second phase. I would be surprised if there wasn't. Oh god, didn't jump far out enough. So assuming there is a second phase, I could very easily be here for a while. And, I don't plan on doing this the entire stream. But it's gonna be a tough decision on when I actually want to switch over to the next thing. I should also think about what the next thing is even going to be. Because I've got no clue. I was thinking about maybe doing Zero Ranger. Because my last Zero Ranger stream went exceptionally poorly. Apparently, quite a few people find that to be a snoozer. Which wasn't super unexpected, but was very unexpected. Crash. What was very unexpected is that when I uploaded the VOD to YouTube, it got, like, search traffic out the ass. Like, who the hell is searching for Zero Ranger? A lot of people, apparently. A lot of people searching for Zero Ranger. I literally uninstalled Zero Ranger. Not because I don't like the game, because I do like the game, but I installed it again specifically for the express purpose of streaming it. And after the stream kind of flopped, I was like, okay, well, I tried, you know. I'm not going to be bent out of shape out of it, but I tried, and Zero Ranger doesn't seem to be a good call. But apparently, maybe it's just Twitch ain't the right platform for it. But also, if that's the case, then maybe I shouldn't stream it immediately after this. Probably not the best call. We'll see what I'm feeling like. Oh, goddamn, dude. The crash really does kill any sort of momentum. I'm trying to keep up momentum here. It's only so much I can do when this is what I have to work with. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what the other options would be, because one of the other options is Monster Train, which is a game that will likely never perform well on my stream, but I love the hell out of the game, so yeah. Take that as you will. I will stream it regardless, but again, probably not a good call to do immediately. That's one I wait until everybody has already left, and then I decide, now is my guilty pleasure time. Now I can stream the game everybody hates to watch. I mean, some people like watching Monster Train, but it's not really the openly accessible kind of game. Like, literally the only reason I played Monster Train in the first place was because for quite a while, literally everybody I followed on Twitch was only streaming Monster Train. So I was like, I mean, card games are fucking awful to watch if you've never played the card game. So that's like literally the reason I decided, okay, I'm gonna play Monster Train, if only so I can watch these streamers again. So I definitely understand that not being super accessible. But I don't have too many options. I mean, Nier was my go-to, but I've excommunicated Nier and anything related to it after the incident. Dude. Why am I messing up the vines so often? Probably because I'm like slowly entering autopilot mode. And anything that requires slight focus, it's gonna send me out the window. For some reason, the apple dodging hasn't been an issue. Probably because I've been getting lucky, but again, I haven't really been focusing to see if I have been getting lucky or not. Very close. God damn, dude. I wish I knew if it was random or not, because if it wasn't random, I would just find a good spot to stand. And like, I've theorized that there was a good spot to stand, but I didn't really pay attention to where it was when it was working. I didn't get a good reference point. But if I find it again, I will make sure to take note of where I'm standing on the background. If it's not random, which I'm still not 100% on. But it looks like we'll have another chance to see. Okay, I'm just gonna stand like right here on the dark part of the mirror. It feels like if I just moved like right here, at least paying attention post-mortem, which may not be an accurate result since the attack continues for longer than it should. But that seemed like a good place to stand for most of that attack. If it's not random, once again. We'll see. But it's kind of weird not having a game to go back to. Like, I mean, the first few things I streamed were just one-offs, so that is how the stream started, but very quickly I started Nier, and that has been, like, the big game I was trying to get through, so I wasn't super consistent with how often I played it. But now I'm back to not having a quote-unquote big game, except I guess technically you could count K2 as a big game since it's going to take a while to get through. But I don't really know what would take its place, honestly. I do have a lot of games that I've been meaning to get around to, but haven't really found the right time to play them. Like, I've still got the new Dragon Quest game. What is it? Is it 11? Whatever the newest Dragon Quest is. You can tell I'm very well versed in the series. But also, like, I'm kind of a little bit afraid of doing something that's that long of a commitment again. Because I don't want an issue similar to Nier, where it wasn't really working. I mean, that one was tech issue related. But I mean, hey, it could happen again. It just doesn't seem super likely, but if for whatever reason a game that is quite long ran into any sort of issues, it's kind of like... Okay, so the attack is random, is what I have just learned. It's either random or it's based on your positioning, but none of those bullets were in the same place from when I checked after dying last time. But yeah, big commitments. I typically try and avoid all big commitments, which is just a really sick and awesome way to live life that is super recommended. Haha. But at least when we're not talking about serious concerns. Like, who wants to have a long-term commitment with a game, right? Like, that just seems kind of gross. Though, I mean, it's safe to say, like, I plan on staying committed to this game. Because this is a different kind of long-term commitment. This is a long-term commitment in that it's not actually that long of a game, it's just really difficult. That's a long-term commitment I can get down with. A long-term commitment that is, like, just a moderate to easy amount of challenge, and it's only long just because there's a lot of content. It's a lot less appealing to me. But I still do want to play, like, Dragon Quest and a few other longer games at some point. It's just probably not for a while. Got a little bit of long-term commitment burnout. Used it all up. There's something exciting about a game that is not that long, but incredibly difficult. It could end at any moment, you know? You just get your shit together. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's the similar kind of feeling I get by playing Pogo Stuck. And getting over it. And Sexy hiking. I mean, sexy hiking is genuinely just incredibly short. That probably doesn't count because of how short it is. But I just can't help myself from enjoying games with wacky input styles that push the difficulty all the way. Getting over it was honestly a little bit easier than I would have anticipated. Well, maybe that's just hindsight, though. Maybe that's just me looking back at it after playing Pogo Stuck for 30 hours at this point, and still not having beaten it. Now, not all of those hours were quality hours. There are definitely some hours of, well, I mean, I literally reset the game twice at this point, but a lot of the hours were me making up skill lost after not playing the game for months at a time. So it's hard to really judge. This is basically me just making excuses for being bad and not wanting to look as bad as it sounds when I say I've played the game for 30 hours and not beaten it, when the speedrun time is 3 minutes. Nice. Good dodge. Damn, it's seriously already been an hour on this fight, and I've only seen one more attack. And also, it's an attack that also crashes my game. I would like to live through the attack. Even if it crashes, I mean, that was shitty rock. Shitty rock. Even if it does crash after I successfully avoid the attack, I want to at least know that the crash is just random, because so far it has technically happened after I've died every time. So maybe the crash is only happening because I am dead during the end of that attack, and it doesn't actually crash as often as it, wow, seems like it would. I could have done that if I just waited slightly longer, but that was still pretty unfortunate. Like, typically, at least like half of his rocks are gonna go in completely, like, harmless locations. But, yeah, he really focused that one. Speaking of people getting their shit together. Reggie Raucus really rocked me on that one. I haven't even noticed the fact that it announces the new sections of the boss fight in the top right corner. See, now I know which Toho that is. Information I never would have guessed otherwise. These are the important facts I've needed my whole life. Yeah, I could tell that one wasn't gonna go. Oh, dude. Sometimes you just forget what you're doing for a split second, and it's enough to make you look like a dumbass. Ooh. Not the best dodge. But when am I ever capable of doing my best? Damn, dude. Sometimes it feels like I do that section decently well, and it still punishes me for it. I'm sure if I looked back at it, I would be like, oh yeah, I was going way too fast, but in the moment, I feel cheated some of the time. That wasn't great. I'm glad I haven't died to this attack in a while. Some level of improvement. Damn, dude. So often I'll be like, oh, where I'm standing isn't going to be safe. And then I'll just walk along the exact same trajectory the bullet takes. As my safety grows ever farther away. I wasn't making it through that one. Ugh, come on, man. Hey! At least I had the common sense to leave the game folder open, so I need to take one less step to get it back up. Alright, so calling it now. I'll give this fight one more hour. And if I still haven't beaten it when my timer hits the 2-hour mark, I'll be moving on to something else. But I figured 2 hours was a decent amount of time to give this boss. Though honestly, I was expecting a little bit more improvement. I just can't read that spinny bullet attack. Something about it remains ever elusive. Well, oh! Hey! I actually survived. I was about to complain about how I got pretty damn walled there, but I actually could have made it through. I find myself dying in that way pretty frequently, where I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm dead. There's no way I make it through this jump. But then when I do make it through the jump, I'm just so unprepared for what comes next that I do end up dying. Rough situation to get yourself into. That was pretty bad. I don't know where the best place to stand for this attack is. I feel like it should be the center, because the bullets move left and right. Or, like, the spawn point of the bullets moves left and right. But maybe it should be, like, moving to the opposite side of the screen that the bullets spawn from. It just feels like the bullets are too fast for me to, like, reasonably... God, I just froze there. The bullets move down too fast for it to actually make any meaningful difference how far away from the spawn point I am. I feel like just standing in the center and guaranteeing, like, on average, a good positioning is probably for the best. But maybe I shouldn't think about taking the safe path. Because what gets you through difficult obstacles, if not experimentation? I also don't know, like, how much I should be willing... God damn, dude. How much I should be willing to jump in that section. Because, like, in my head, it makes sense. Like, if you have an opening to get through the bullets, you should jump through the opening, right? But then sometimes it puts you in a bad spot to dodge the next wave. It seemed to work out well that time, though. I did get a little bit too close to the left side of the screen, though, because when that guy started shooting his bullets, I was not prepared. Yeah, I was hoping that that rock was far enough left that that wouldn't kill me. Hence the grimace as I jumped into that attack. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through or not. I was also hoping I could maybe jump up fast enough so that it wouldn't even matter. But didn't make it in either of those regards, unfortunately. It's always the most frustrating, god damn it, when he throws a rock like incredibly high and straight up though. Because then it guards you from jumping up there, like right when you need to. It's the worst timing. Wow, really didn't need to do like half of those jumps, but somehow made it. Oh god, that was horrible. Pretty unfortunate rock placement. Oh god. Pretty unfortunate body placement. At some point here, the tiredness effect will definitely start kicking in. It's the downside in streaming to fix the sleep schedule. So if you think I'm not entertaining now, oh, just you fucking wait. A few hours from now, I'll be fucking terrible. Guaranteed. Or your money back. You know, I try my hardest to keep the zombification effect of sleep deprivation away, but okay. Ooh! Somehow made it through there. I'm sure by the time, because today I'm also doing a blind race with friends of mine. Still not sure what game we're going to be blind racing. Typically we have this sorted ahead of time, but due to some confusion on who was actually going to be there for the race this time around, it's kind of up for grabs what the game is going to be. It's between two games. It's either going to be The Mask for SNES, which, I mean, just sounds horrible in concept. A Mask video game. Like, I can't even imagine what the gameplay mechanics would be, honestly. Like, it's just baffling that such a thing was created, but that is how licensing goes. So that's going to be horrible. And the second one is another licensed game. But this one with a track record behind it, at the very least, will be... I think it's a Lion King... I know it's a Lion King game. I think it's for PS1? Maybe PS2? I didn't really look too far into it, but, never heard of the particular game, so I don't have my hopes too high up for that one either. But that's not the fun of it. The fun of it isn't playing good games. It's, honestly, probably more fun to play shitty games. And just bumblefuck our way through them. But, yeah, I can imagine by the time the race is going to start, I will already be a mindless drone. Because that'll be well past the 24-hour awake mark for me. Don't have too high hopes of me taking the W on that race. But I am a naturally born gaming legend, so we'll see. We'll see which wins over sleep deprivation or true talent. the other racers will start thinking I'm racing against them. It's really a battle with my own mind. Probably not the way you want to take that, if I had to guess. If not just for the outcome of the situation. Okay. Refreshed. Ready to go. Good start. Really brings it all into perspective. Wasn't super confident in any of those dodges. I'm growing less and less confident in my ability to make progress as this moves forward, too. I need to try and, like, really focus on the attempts that aren't dying to RNG, because, like, I shouldn't be dying on the attacks that have no RNG associated. That one included, unfortunately. But it's also kind of hard to correct against those sorts of things. Because if you try and work it back in your head and find out what went wrong, you're ultimately just going to be left with the equivalent of someone leaving a message in chat that ends in forehead. A good example might be just jump sooner forehead. God, I just freeze. I just freeze when I try and, like, work out where the bullets are gonna go. Like, in my head, I was like, oh yeah, those bullets are closing directly on top of me. But instead of moving in the moment, I was just like, ah! There's no time! I died. Just move sooner, forehead. I mean, it's just the kind of thing that I have to get to that attack enough times that I start getting used to the pattern. Good start. Ah! Hopefully that's the hardest attack. It probably isn't, because, you know, the way bosses go is typically harder the farther in. Though some of these attacks are definitely just kind of freebies. Like this, where's the danger in that attack? I mean, I have died, oh my god. I have died to the guy shooting me a couple of times, but that was just trying to figure out the timing on the jump again. If you get that down, there's genuinely no threat at all. And the attack afterwards, which seems completely pattern-based with no randomness, like he shoots 2 Hadokens and then does that spiral pattern of spikes. Damn, dude. If I just figure out a good place to stand for the spikes, which again is something I should have taken note by looking at the background and remembering a good place to stand, but woe is me, I'm a dumbass, and didn't think to do that in the moment. That's not the first time that's happened. Wait, did I die to... Is that what's killing me? Does Miku actually kill you when you touch her? Because that would explain both of my mystery deaths. I'm gonna go do it just to experiment. Yeah, okay. The first time it happened as Miku was fading away, I'm pretty sure. So I didn't, like, visibly see Miku to know what killed me. But yeah, that makes sense. Didn't even perceive her as an active threat. Which is honestly insulting. And deserves the level of retribution I received. Don't know why I didn't move into position there. Probably because I was afraid of Miku. But let's all be real, I mostly just completely fucking zoned out there. It happens. Who knows what was on my mind? That is kind of weird if that happens. I assume it happens with most people, but maybe not. Getting so deeply zoned that you can't even remember what the fuck you were thinking about afterwards. Hopefully it's not just a me thing. Otherwise, I might need to go to the doctor. Yikes, dude. I hate how often it is just boiling down to me hoping that I'm standing in a good position instead of actively seeking out a good position to stand in. I don't know why the pattern is so hard for me. Like, the active, like, amount of space that is actually threatening at any moment is very small. But because of how fast the bullets move, and how hard it is to predict where they're going to be, it makes it seem like the threat is over a much larger area. Nice crash. It's been a while. We were on a good run of things. Fuck streaking how many attempts I can get to the heart attack. Let's start a streak for how many attempts I can do without the boss crashing. When I was standing on the right side, it was more like a streak of how many times the boss crashes in a row. Which is fun in its own rights. I don't know why, but I feel like it is somewhat related to your movement. The crash, I mean. Because sometimes when I move in like a little bit of a different way than I normally do, internally, like for a split second, I'm like, is it gonna crash? And surprisingly often, it actually does. But then again, I'm probably giving myself a little bit too much credit, because on pretty much every attempt, I question if it's going to crash. So it's really not saying that much. I'm getting some blessed rock RNG, thankfully. It's been a while since that's fucked me. Or at least it seems like it's been a while. Dude, when they start coming at me sideways, that's when I really start freaking out. Because when they're above me, I know that I can jump up and get to a safe spot. But when they're beside me, things get a lot harder. I mean, technically the principle is the same. I can jump up, and I probably would have escaped to death if I jumped in that situation, but hindsight and all that. I do feel like I'm getting somewhat better at the fight. It just sucks that, like, this one attack is such a wall for me. Because, like, it doesn't matter how... I just didn't know what to do. I just freeze up. But yeah, it doesn't matter how much better I am at the rest of the fight if that part is going to stay such a difficult obstacle for me. But like I said, getting more and more attempts there... Damn, I was so close to getting the God Miku where you don't have to jump at all. Getting more and more attempts there is obviously eventually going to make me better at dodging that bullet pattern. And I'll find my way through this. Or at least find my way to a new attack that will be the hardest attack for me. And then the cycle restarts. Okay. God! Can I just stand there? Those attacks look like they would go over my head. He fucking sniped me, though. Like, I felt like I was decently prepared. But I still got killed by that. I was thinking that attack would be trivial, but... I have now died to it twice. And God, I still didn't pay attention to the spikes afterwards. I was so frustrated that I died to the easy part of the attack that I didn't even think to pay attention to the spikes afterwards. Let's go. Dude, can you stand still? I don't want to test it, because, like, that's the... Oh, it crashed again. Well, again, I didn't pay attention to the spikes, but because the game is frozen here, I can kind of get a rough idea of a safe spot to stand. It looks like right on the edge of the right side of the stained glass is safe. Hopefully. But yeah, it really looks like those Hadoukens go directly over my head. So maybe I shouldn't be jumping. But also, very unfortunate that it has maintained consistency in crashing every single time that attack follows through to its completion. Since it is always at the end of the attack, it does kind of give me hope, though. In that maybe the boss just doesn't know what to do when you're dead at the end of that attack. Because like I said, most of the time, the boss keeps attacking after you die. So maybe that one particular instance was not accounted for, hence the crash. That's what I'm banking on. Otherwise, this boss fight may literally be impossible for me to complete for whatever reason. Hopefully not. Because that would be a pretty sour way for things to end. Dude, I panic still. I'm getting, like, slightly better at it, I think. I'm at the point where I'm starting to kind of identify safe spots ahead of time, and then be prepared to look at the next wave of bullets. So that I can actually keep up with the speed of the attack. But... still kind of hard. Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped that early. You want to wait on your first jump until he actually shoots the bullet, otherwise you're both going to be moving too fast and probably die to the sweep of bullets. And also, worst case scenario, you just die immediately on the first bullet because it shoots where you have to land. Oh god. So slippery. It's the best way to describe the vines. It's like vertical ice. God. Nope. Wasn't expecting it that time around. For all you know, I could be vigorously rage quitting. Just slamming Alt F4 as fast as possible. And then eventually coming to the decision that, I guess I'll fight the boss again. Oh god. Just farming that first attack over and over again. Just to test. Keep you on edge, see if it's gonna crash again. You never know. Anybody's guess. Okay, not the best rock RNG, but still made it. That's the level of consistency you want. Enough that you can hopefully still make things work, even when it's suboptimal RNG. I do feel like most of these attacks are significantly easier than I was originally giving them credit to. Because, like, Miku hasn't killed me in ages, which is sick. Or at least I haven't died regularly to Miku in ages, which is sick. In ages is probably not the right term to use when you've only been playing this for an hour. Also, okay, fine, Miku. Fine, you can get a kill while I'm talking about you. I won't tell anybody. Just our secret. But yeah, this attack seems a lot more consistent than I originally gave it credit. And so does the rock attack. Though I have, like, okay. Hilarious. As soon as I mention consistency, here it comes. I have gotten, like, some cases where the rock RNG was literally so brutal that I can't reasonably find any path through it. But that's not common. Pretty unlikely. I shouldn't have jumped as early as I did. Like, that was another case where I know I could have made it through those rocks, but I wanted to jump slightly earlier because of the rocks he threw up. Would have been in a pretty bad position if I waited any longer, but would have been the right call to wait slightly longer. That was close. Damn, dude. I went too fast. Again. But at least now I'm, like, pinpointing what the failure was actually caused by, instead of just saying I was unlucky. I know that I was kind of unlucky in that situation, but I still could have made it through if I had done things a little bit differently. That was really close. Again. Same thing. I keep jumping too early for some reason. Maybe this is the regression, though. I find that happens surprisingly often when you're doing something difficult. That there will be a large regression in ability. I was standing way too close to Miku and couldn't dodge in the way I wanted to there. But I find it pretty often that when trying to improve at something, there will be periods of regression right before you get better. Which in the moment is pretty demoralizing, because you're like, well, what the fuck, dude? I was spending this whole time trying to get better, and somehow I've gotten worse. But so long as you don't let it get to you, I found that that's typically right at the break point. Okay, I tested it. I tested it. Hey, it didn't crash, which is actually horrifying. That's actually like, oh, I just poked the shit out of my eye. That's the worst case scenario, actually. Because that not crashing there means that it had nothing to do with me being dead. And that means that even on a successful attempt, I can still crash there. But yeah, as for why I just stood still there, I wanted to test if the bullets go over your head. I assumed that they wouldn't, because why would there be an attack that is dodged by standing still? Literally no input required. But at the same time, I had to know, because those bullets really look like they go right over your head. Which is honestly probably not the best signaling to the player. Maybe could have stretched the bullet down a little bit so it actually looks like it would reasonably kill you if you're standing still. Ooh. I was not in the position I thought I was. Damn. Slightly better. I'm not dying to the first wave of bullets literally every time anymore. That being said, I am very glad that I'm going to move on after 30 minutes, because my index finger is starting to want to be detached from my hand more than it wants to keep pressing this button. Actively seeking out amputation. Anything better than the torture I'm currently putting it through? There's no way that makes it. I was way too fast on the approach there. Sometimes it makes me a little more eager to move up ahead, though, just because of the way the rocks are. Sometimes they kind of clutter the ground, and sometimes I can see ahead of time that rocks that are like floating in the air are going to be in my way. So I try and be proactive about getting ahead of that. But by getting a little bit too far ahead, I soil my chances. Dude, that's on me. So I really felt it that time. I really felt like I was doing good there. But I looked ahead at the final wave of bullets and was going to reposition myself to be in a good spot for it, but I repositioned before the last wave of bullets had actually passed me, making me run directly into it. I wasn't looking at my character at all there, I was just looking at the next wave of bullets. So maybe if I rewatch the clip, I might see that I was actually just in a terrible position for that wave of bullets in the first place, but I thought I picked a... that was... that was bad. I thought I picked a decent spot for it. I didn't say I was never gonna die to the first wave of bullets, I just said I'm not dying to the first wave of bullets every time. Not a huge leap in improvement, but a leap in improvement. All I could ask for. Yikes, dude. Sometimes the rocks still fuck you over. Like, I'm not gonna say... oh god. Sometimes the spike fucks you over too. Isn't it weird? I've already made this joke, but I'm gonna make it again. Isn't it weird that sometimes the ground gets turned into a conveyor belt, moving you into that spike in a completely unavoidable, random situation? Kinda crazy. Weird thing for them to do. But I'll get there. I'll eventually, after slamming my head into the wall enough times. Damn, dude. I'm slightly too early on that every time. Eventually, I will tease out some sort of reliable way to dodge that spirally spinny attack. Probably not going to happen in the next 25 minutes or so, however long the timer is at. Yep, 25 minutes or so. I can't imagine speedrunning this. I mean, I'm pretty sure people do. Well, they must, right? I'm pretty sure last time, well, no, a couple of times ago, I was streaming this, someone mentioned K3 speedruns, but like, I assume if you're going to speedrun this, or K3, it's probably a speedrun to boss rush, not a speedrun for the whole game. That's how I would do it, at least, because obviously there's a clear jump in difficulty, at least in K3's case. Like I said, I don't really know that much about this game's boss rush. So maybe this game's boss rush is easy enough that people speedrun through the entire game, but I just genuinely don't know that. But yeah, I mean, surely people speedrun it in some degree, though. So, what I'm getting at here is that At least someone out there is dodging all of these attacks consistently. Sure as hell ain't gonna be me. But I'm sure someone. That was so bad. Two of them are preparing a race of the full game. Damn, dude. That has got to be rough. But boss rush percent. I mean, that's what I would have expected. Like, boss rush percent makes infinitely more sense. I mean, especially since 44 seemed to imply that the last boss is even more of a brutal difficulty spike than the actual boss rush. I can imagine that being a weird race environment, at the very least. It's basically just going to be whoever is racing getting to Kamilia. And then at some point, someone's just gonna say, time! And, it'll come as a surprise to everybody, I'm sure. But that's kind of fun in and of itself. I mean, I can't, you know, argue about whose races are ridiculous and whose races aren't ridiculous when I'm racing games I've literally never even seen before with my friends. There we go. That's how you want to take that every time. Obviously, the rocks don't permit that level of smoothness in every scenario, but that's the dream. That's every time, man. It's either I'll have like the perfect read on it, and I'll feel so locked in, or I will just completely misread the first wave of bullets and be completely stunned, just not know what to do. And even if I make it through the first wave of bullets, I was just stunned from the first one that I haven't even looked at the second one, so... Such is life. The other problem is because I'm trying to read ahead. If I severely misread the first one, but think I did a good job at reading it, I look like an absolute fool. Because I was very confident I was going to make it through that first wave of bullets there, and had already started focusing on the other ones. Oh god. Paralyzed. Can hit at any moment. I mean, oh god. Again, pretty bad RNG, honestly. Like, yes, I could have jumped over it, but typically I'm not focusing on the rocks coming in from the left side of the screen, because typically they're completely harmless. But yeah, it's hard to, it's like in a weird situation where, like, there's nothing in this first part of the fight that I can really think about needing serious improvement on. Obviously, like, I've messed up this section quite a few times, but... Okay, that was bad. Somehow that worked, but it shouldn't have, honestly. Like, that whole section from rock to climbing the vines could use a little bit of touching up, but it's not nearly as bad as this section is for me. Like, it's so... When I think about it in the past tense, I'm like, it should be so easy. Because all you have to do is look above you when the bullets are like half a second away from hitting you. This is gonna sound... It's another forehead thing. If they're gonna hit you, move! If they're not gonna hit you... I jumped too early. Stand still. Forehead. But really, that's like all I can think of in terms of improving that. Like, it's really hard for me to look ahead and predict where they're going to be by the time they reach the floor. But that's what I've been trying to do. Maybe I should just go the route of looking last second and adjusting accordingly. Ow, that was close. Didn't even jump. Hello. Right now, I am fighting the guy, which technically means I want to be the guy. But, in this actual game, we are questing to kill the Kamilia. Not become something. I know, it's foreign. A foreign concept in the genre. I fucking jumped into Miku. It surprises me every time. Oh yeah, no, I've seen that. I've played a bit of it, even. It is decent. I mean, just cool conceptually, honestly, like... having something like that as accessible as possible is really cool. I am all for giving creative tools to people as easily as possible. Dude, you made 2 levels. I like the holy heck in your own description of your own levels. Always be enthusiastic about things you've created. I'm guilty of that sin myself, though. I'm probably a little bit too critical of things I've created. But I'm just a critical kind of guy. Ugh. You're fucking kidding me. Good to know. Also good to know. What is not good to know is that even upon successfully dodging the attack, the game can still crash. I mean, I was afraid of it. I had figured that that was going to be the case. Still incredibly demoralizing. Oh, fuck. No, I don't want to put a filter on this. Incredibly demoralizing seeing it actually happen. Because, I mean, what do? You know, like, I can say, hey, this attack, I'm dodging poorly. I should try and improve my dodging skills here, and maybe I will have more success in the fight. Point proven. Again and again. As that is the main way I am dying. Typically, I'm dying, and it's my own fault. I mean, sometimes it's RNG, but... yes. Only thing you're missing there is a forehead. But what do you fucking do if the game crashes? You know? You successfully dodge the attack that has killed you on every other attempt. And the game rewards you by telling you that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Go back to the start. Not only do you have to dodge the attack, you have to dodge the attack and get lucky, or the game will crash. I gotta be really slow here. Yeah, that was gonna be hard. I believe it's ambiguous, but maybe Kyan has said something about that in the past, I'm not sure. I've always believed it to be his dad, but I honestly... Wait, no, don't they say it at the end of I Want to Be the Guy? Isn't there... I swear there's a cutscene that literally says that information. But I don't fucking remember. I do believe now, after thinking about it a little bit longer, that it is confirmed to be his dad, though. At least that's what my memory serves me. Oh god. It's a challenge, you know? Don't look at it that way. Look at it as a loving and caring father who has always adored his son, preparing him for the real world with one final challenge. I mean, the keys are all there. You just have to unlock the door. He's smoking, right? Clearly a sign of his lung cancer. He's already on his deathbed, so he has to push his son to the limits, so he knows he can make it out in this world before his father unfortunately perishes to a crutch of his own creation. The kid is the guy's son, and the guy must kill the kids so that they do not take his position as the guy. Alright, you could look at it that way. You could. I'm not saying one way is right and one way is wrong. All I'm saying is that if you look deep into the code, I'm sure you would find deleted scenes of the guy in his hospital bed going through chemotherapy. And if you kill him in just the right frame, his hair falls off, signifying that it's actually a wig hiding his baldness. This is all conjecture, but I know it's the truth deep down. Also a valid theory. Yeah, I did forget to end it by saying that's just a theory. Long pause, a game theory. Honestly, that wouldn't be that far out of a concept for him to cover on his channel. He is, and has always been, scraping the bottom of the barrel. But I don't think he's hit so far down that he's looking towards I want to be the guy. Name omitted so that I can never be targeted. I could be talking about any game theorist. Since this particular theorist does seem to be a little... I mean, litigious isn't really the right word because, I mean, you can't really hold rights over what people say about you, but it's kind of a dickhead. And I wouldn't hold it against him for trying to hold rights that he doesn't own over people. That really just leads into my theory, honestly. The guy is clearly upset having to go through this. But the kid understands. He knows he's being put to the test by his old man. It's a mutual thing. I'm glad I died before saying the sentence I was going to say. Because boy oh boy would that have been embarrassing timing. I was going to say, I do think it's been working out better if I dodge last second instead of trying to look ahead. Because looking ahead was honestly just overcomplicating things. Because all in all, it really does boil down to, like, the last point of contact, given how fast bullets are moving. I wonder how good my damage is. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm facing much harder attacks than I need to because I'm not getting optimal damage. I mean, I don't really know what optimal damage looks like. I'm mashing decently fast, but I know my mashing isn't that impressive. I'm definitely mashing to the point where my fingy wants a break, but I'm sure it could be better. Oh, fuck. Forgot I don't have to do anything on that attack. You're led to believe it's a machine gun, but actually he's just significantly better at mashing than I am. Really puts me to shame. God. I keep being like, now is the time. Take your leap of faith because this is it. You're making it through that wave of bullets. Every time I regret it. I am getting close to that deadline though. Damn. I jumped up too fast and I was trying to stall a little bit, but I just missed the vine. Yes, if we take deadline, literally. I probably am going to switch to Pogo Stuck. That seems like the most appropriate thing to switch to. And I think is also fairly generally watchable. Move from a game that people think is made to be frustrating to a game that was actively developed to be frustrating. This is probably the last good attempt I'll get. I might do one more after this, depending on how it goes. That was close enough, and technically, we're still before 2 hours. Give it one more go. But this is the official last time, for this stream at least. I will probably come back to this pretty soon. I mean, honestly, I might even come back to it this stream, because I plan on streaming for a decently long amount of time. And probably am gonna run out of things to do, since I don't have anything that I really have long-term, as previously discussed. Ugh. Just slightly miscalculated, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't goddamn matter, because the game was destined to crash anyways. Well, good way to end things. Okay, let's move on to Pogo Stuck then.